Carnival Cruise Review 2025. Would I sail with them again? We just got back from sailing with Carnival, and I have to be honest with you. I wasn't sure what to expect. Carnival has a reputation, some good, some not so good. And with everything I'd been hearing about cruise lines in 2025, I really wanted to see for myself what the Carnival experience is actually like right now. Is it really the budget party line everyone talks about? Is the food as bad as some reviews say? And most importantly, would I actually book with them again? Hi there, I'm sharing my honest thoughts today on what it's really like to cruise with Carnival in 2025. Now, I'm going to cover everything from the food in the cabins to the entertainment and the overall vibe on board. But I also need to talk about some things that surprised me, both good and not so good. Because here's the thing, Carnival in 2025 is not one size fits all. The experience you have depends a lot on which ship you choose. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by that in just a minute. Let's start with embarkation. Now, we sailed from Port Canaveral, and I have to say the boarding process was actually pretty smooth. The crew, as always with Carnival, they were so friendly and welcoming. There was music playing, everyone was smiling, and honestly, it set a really positive tone right from the start. Now, one thing I will mention is that the ship felt busy immediately, and this is something you need to know about Carnival. These ships carry a lot of people. So if you're looking for that quiet, intimate cruise experience, this might not be it, but if you enjoy energy and activity, you'll feel right at home. Now let's talk about the food, because this is where things get interesting. The food on Carnival is honestly a mixed bag, and I'm going to be really honest with you about what worked and what didn't. First, the main dining room. We had some really good meals here. The Caesar salad was excellent, and the chocolate melting cake, which is Carnival's signature dessert, was absolutely delicious. We also had prime rib one night that was actually quite good. But here's where it gets tricky. The menu does start to feel repetitive after a few days, and some dishes were just okay. Not bad, but not memorable either. Now the buffet, I'm going to be honest. The Lido Marketplace buffet was probably my least favorite dining option on board. It often felt picked over, especially during peak times. The selection wasn't as varied as I'd hoped, and honestly, it just didn't compare well to buffets I've had on other cruise lines. So here's my tip. Skip the buffet whenever possible and take advantage of Carnival's casual dining venues instead. And this is where Carnival really shines. Guy's Burger Joint. Oh my goodness, these burgers are so good. Truly some of the best burgers I've had at sea. The toppings bar has caramelized onions, grilled mushrooms, bacon, everything you could want. And it's complimentary. We went there multiple times during our cruise. Blue Iguana Cantina is another winner. The breakfast burritos were amazing. Absolutely one of my favorite meals on the entire cruise. And the tacos for lunch and dinner were fresh and really tasty. The fact that these quality options are included in your cruise fare is a huge value. On some other cruise lines, you'd be paying extra for food this good. Now, we also tried one of the specialty restaurants, and I will say it was worth the upcharge. The food quality was noticeably better, the service was excellent, and it felt like a special evening. So if you're celebrating something or just want a nicer meal, I definitely recommend booking at least one specialty dining experience. The cabin. Now, this is really important, and this is where I need to talk about the tale of two Carnivals. We sailed on one of Carnival's newer ships, and our cabin was actually quite nice. Modern, clean, with good lighting and USB outlets built into the bedside lamps. The bathroom had a glass shower door. Everything felt contemporary. Our cabin steward was wonderful, keeping everything spotless, and we loved the towel animals he created each night. But here's what you need to know. Not all Carnival ships are created equal. If you're sailing on one of their newer ships like Mardi Gras, Celebration, or Jubilee, you're going to have a much more modern experience. But if you end up on one of the older ships, particularly the fantasy class ships, the cabins can feel really dated. I've heard from other cruisers about stained carpets, plastic shower curtains, rust, and limited outlets. So my advice to you is this: do your research on which ship you're booking. The ship matters more than the cruise line when it comes to Carnival. A newer Carnival ship can rival Royal Caribbean at a much lower price. An older ship might disappoint you no matter how low the fare is. Now let's talk about activities and entertainment, because this is where Carnival really does stand out. During the day, there were so many things to do. Trivia, pool games, live music both inside and out. We never felt bored. The water slides were fun, and the kids on board absolutely loved them. There was always something happening. But the real star of Carnival's entertainment is the evening programming. The Comedy Club, the Punchliner Comedy Club, was honestly some of the best comedy I've seen at sea. The comedians were sharp, funny, and there were both adult shows and family-friendly shows. We went multiple times. Get there about 10 to 15 minutes early if you want a good seat because these shows fill up quickly. The production shows were enjoyable, though I will say they're not quite at the level of what you might see on a premium cruise line. They're fun, energetic, and the performers work really hard. But if you're expecting Broadway caliber productions, you might want to adjust your expectations. Now, what Carnival does better than anyone else are the deck parties. The 80s deck party we went to was absolutely packed. People of all ages were dancing, the DJ was fantastic, and the energy was just infectious. Carnival really knows how to throw a party. If you enjoy that kind of high-energy, social atmosphere, you're going to love this. But I do need to mention something. If you're someone who values peace and quiet, who wants to relax by the pool with a book, Carnival might not be your best choice. The music is loud. The deck parties start in the morning and go late into the night. It's energetic and fun, but it's definitely not quiet. There is an adults-only Serenity deck, which we did visit a few times. This is a nice quiet area with loungers and hot tubs, but you need to get there early to snag a spot because it fills up quickly. So yes, there are quieter areas on the ship, but overall, Carnival's vibe is energetic and social. The crew. Now, I have to say this was one of the absolute highlights of our cruise. The crew on Carnival are genuinely wonderful. Our cabin steward was so friendly, always greeting us with a smile, making sure we had everything we needed. The dining room staff were enthusiastic and entertaining. They even did little song and dance routines during meals, and you could tell they genuinely enjoyed what they were doing. The bartenders at the Alchemy Bar were skilled and made excellent drinks. And honestly, everywhere we went on the ship, crew members were friendly and helpful. This is something that's consistent across Carnival, no matter which ship you're on. The crew work incredibly hard, they're away from their families for months at a time, and they still maintain this positive, friendly attitude. So please be kind to them, learn their names, tip fairly. These crew members are the heart of the Carnival experience. Now I need to talk about something important, the cost. Because Carnival markets itself as affordable, and the base fare is definitely lower than many competitors. But here's what you need to understand. The cruise fare is just the beginning. You'll pay mandatory gratuities, which are about $16 to $18 per person per day. So for a week-long cruise, that's an additional $112 to $126 per person. Drinks are not included unless you purchase a beverage package, and that drink package is now over $82 per person per day if you buy it in advance. Wi-Fi costs extra. Specialty dining costs extra. Shore excursions cost extra. So while Carnival's base fare might be $600, your actual out-the-door cost could easily be $1,200 to $1,500 per person once you add in everything else. Now that's still competitive with other cruise lines, but don't assume Carnival's dirt cheap once you factor in all the extras. That being said, the fact that so many casual dining venues are included, Guy's Burger Joint, Blue Iguana Cantina, that does provide real value that you wouldn't get on some other lines. Now I need to address something that's been in the news, and I think it's important to talk about this honestly. Carnival has faced some controversies in 2025. There have been concerns raised about crime statistics, with Carnival reporting more incidents than other major cruise lines according to federal data. There was also a significant controversy over policies that some passengers felt were discriminatory, and there have been some mechanical issues with specific ships. Now, I'm not going to sensationalize these issues, but I do think you deserve to know about them. The vast majority of Carnival cruises complete without any incidents. Millions of people cruise with Carnival every year and have wonderful, safe experiences. But these are real concerns that have been reported, and you should be aware of them when making your booking decision. Do your own research. Look at recent reviews for the specific ship you're considering and make the choice that feels right for you. So, who is Carnival for? Here's my honest assessment. Carnival is fantastic for families looking for value. The kids' programs are excellent. There are so many activities for children and teens, and the casual dining options make it easy to feed picky eaters without breaking the bank. It's also great for first-time cruisers who want to try cruising without spending a fortune. The entertainment is top-notch, especially the comedy shows and deck parties. And if you enjoy a lively, social atmosphere where there's always something happening, you'll probably love Carnival. But Carnival might not be the best choice if you're looking for a quiet, relaxing cruise with a lot of downtime. If you want cutting-edge ships and the newest innovations, you'll want to stick with their newest vessels or consider other cruise lines. And if you're someone who values refined elegance and a more premium experience, you might be happier with a line like Princess or Celebrity. Now the big question, would I sail with Carnival again? Here's my answer. Yes, but with conditions. I would absolutely sail on one of Carnival's newer ships again. Mardi Gras, Celebration, Jubilee, or even the Vista-class ships. These ships offer a really good experience at a competitive price. The entertainment is excellent, The casual dining options provide great value, and the crew is wonderful. However, I would think very carefully before booking one of Carnival's older ships. The experience is just too different. If I could get an amazing deal on an older ship and I went in with realistic expectations maybe. But for the most part, ship selection is going to be the deciding factor for me. Here are my top tips if you do book with Carnival. First, choose your ship carefully. Look at when the ship was built or last refurbished. Read recent reviews specific to that ship, not just general Carnival reviews. The ship matters more than anything else. Second, skip the buffet. Seriously, take advantage of Guy's Burger Joint, Blue Iguana Cantina, and the other casual venues. You'll eat better food and have a better experience. Third, embrace the entertainment. Go to the comedy shows. Join the deck parties. This is where Carnival really shines. Fourth, be prepared for noise and crowds. If you need quiet time, find the Serenity deck early in the day or retreat to your cabin. Fifth, bring a power strip. Even on newer ships, you'll appreciate having extra outlets for your devices. And finally, be kind to the crew. They work incredibly hard to make your vacation special. A smile, a thank you, and fair tipping go a long way. One more thing I want to mention. Carnival opened their new private destination, Celebration Key, in July 2025. Now, we didn't get to visit it on our sailing, but from what I've seen and heard, it looks absolutely beautiful. If you're booking a Carnival cruise in 2025 or 2026, I would definitely consider an itinerary that includes Celebration Key. It looks like Carnival's answer to Royal Caribbean's Perfect Day at Coco Cay, and it seems like they've created something really special there. So that's my honest review of Carnival in 2025. It's not perfect. There are legitimate areas for improvement, especially when it comes to the older ships and some of the food quality issues. But there's also a lot to love. The value, especially on newer ships, is really strong. The entertainment is fantastic. The crew is wonderful. And if you go in with the right expectations and choose your ship carefully, you can have a really great cruise. I'd love to hear from you. Have you sailed with Carnival recently? What was your experience like? Which ship did you sail on? And would you sail with them again? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, because I know that will be helpful to others who are trying to decide if Carnival is right for them. Now, if you found this video helpful, if it gave you information that will help you make a better decision about your next cruise, please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I hope that sharing my honest experiences can help you cruise smart. Thanks for watching and happy cruising.